and welcome to Tech Down Over. I'm Rick Zanotti, and I'm joined today by my good friend, Geoff Blanchard, who's coming to us from the land down under. How you doing today, Geoff?
Good, thank you, Rick, and waiting to have another exciting episode of Tech Down Over.
Yeah,
here we go.
Here we go. Gee, that sounded like a loud intro. Tune. But anyway.
No, it was okay.
And we are joined by Harold in that middle position of power.
Harold is here again.
So that means we have no guests today. So no, which is okay. We can't. It's hard to find guests sometimes, especially on Fridays. But anyway, here we are. And not much happened this week. It seems to have been kind of a quiet week in tech, and there's so many new cameras and so many complainers and so many happy people. I don't know. Any news on your end, Geoff?
Well, what I'll just, like you said, with all the new cameras, what still amazes me is that on a Monday you'll watch a video and the Nikon new camera is rubbish, a heap of crap. Then on Tuesday the same person has bought one and it's the best thing ever. And it's really an innovation in technology. That's I've just come to the conclusion that everything is great for somebody out there.
Right.
You've just got to buy, and I think that's probably the case. It's these companies don't produce these things. Say, well, it's a load of rubbish. They go into a lot of research to get their camera. So they might not suit you. They might not suit me. But they've done something out there. So there's always something. And as I said, it depends what you want. If you like the camera, you'll find so many nice positive reviews. Mm-hmm. If you definitely hate it, you'll get some other ones. Like I don't know if you've been watching Casey Stern lately, but he's a good one. He goes from he loves his Panasonic G85, then it's a heap of crap. This Micro Four Thirds crap. He wants a Sony full frame. Then, the Panasonic's not that bad because when he does different things, but at least he's genuine when he goes and gives the reason why he didn't like it or why he doesn't. So
now he's the love slave of that rich billionaire guy. Is that what it was? I don't remember.
I don't know, but
it is Thailand after all.
If there's a rich billionaire out there that wants me, yes, I'm available. As long as I can have all the tech I want and the animals and that,
that's right.
I'm happy to be a kept man. So.
Yep, and he looks a lot happier. He looks like he's even gained some weight. He's a little fuller, I think. Anyway, you know what it is?
But it was
okay, let's see. How many words? Okay, in 5 words. Pundits are full of crap. So all the people doing all these reviews and stuff, they don't even touch the camera. They're full of crap. All they're doing is supposing. And a lot of them do it just to be controversial so that people will pay attention to them. There's a lot of crap out there. Everybody's the EOS R, what a piece of crap, hate it. Oh, wait, look at the EOS R quality. It's beautiful. Or the EOS R, it's not a sports camera. They never claimed to be. No. I mean, I have an EOS R. It's a good camera. It isn't a sports camera. It's a pretty good video camera. It has a crop, which is full of crap. But who cares? You know it going in. Buy the lenses that are wide and EFS and you won't have a crop. Duh. It's not that big a deal. Everybody has to make a big deal about everything. So what do they do after they complain? Like you said, they go off and buy the same camera. And then it's the best camera on earth because they own it now. I like Tony Northrup. Now, do you like Tony Northrup? I do.
I do. Yes,
because he's honest. He tells you what he thinks. Sometimes he'll change his mind, but within reason. And he says, look, I thought this was not quite it, but when I held it, and it's really a nice camera. And he's being attacked because they don't like what he's saying or somebody else is saying. I don't know. Everybody's got their own way of looking at things. And I do think, and the other thing is, look how many people are hawking non-stop. Click the link below, click the link below. I get money, I get money, I get money, I get commissions and money and money and money, money. It's a crummy camera, but click the link below and you'll help me buy it. It's like, okay, I'm sick of clicking. I don't click the links below. I don't really know anybody who does. But the thing is, all of these guys, look at Max Yuriev. He was nobody 3 years ago. All of a sudden, he thinks he's somebody, and he gets demonetized. So much for clicking the list below, right? And you go, you work your buns off for what? For a couple grand a month, and that's it? I mean, maybe if you're retired, but if you're working, a couple grand a month isn't going to get you very far. So it's sort of interesting. These are all full-fledged photographers and this and that, but they're killing themselves for very little money. I mean, no money.
And that's why I like people like Tony and Chelsea, because it's not just their channel that supports them. They do a lot of other things. They've got the photography books, and that will help them get along the way. So, as I said, that's probably only about a couple of people I'll take their advice from that for cameras and that, and they're one of them, because they do the hard chores and criticize things when it's necessary. Like some people just won't dare say, if we get invited to an event, say something negative against them, but they still do. Right. I'm afraid that eventually that these companies might say, well, we're not going to invite the Northrops anymore because they're too down honest. But I do like them on that. But like you said, with sports cameras and that, I don't know if you saw on the last week, was it last week? I took the GH5 out and did a bit of filming down at a show jumping event, and I thought that did a really good job. I did, a quick shot and got the horse in midair. Yep. And I thought it was really good. And with
at first I didn't realize that was you at first. I clicked on the channel. I'm subscribed to you, but I wasn't paying attention who I was clicking to, and I was going, "Whoa, look at that! That's pretty cool shots of the horses and stuff." And then I go, wait a minute, that's Geoff. and I went, that looked really cool. And that was with your new camera. It looked great. I mean, really. But you know what? The GH5 is pretty fast at frames. It can do like 60 or 100 frames a second in electronic mode. It's fast. But in just regular shooting, were you shooting in 60 frames per second or just 30?
Well, in the video, I did 60 frames, but even the stills and that. But I haven't put I've got to put some more video out on that just to show the quality. But I'll tell you what I've been getting into this week a lot. I've been actually using my Canon XA10 a lot this week, because with the arrival of the new puppy, I wanted something easy to film things with, and still a video camera is still the easiest thing to get. You can just have it there on the bench, quickly start it. With the other one, you've got to pick it up, switch it on, and put it to your face.
Yeah. Now, for all of those who are wondering, Geoff is now the proud mama of a brand new little puppy girl named Jemima. You're going to call her Gemma or Jemima?
Gemma. Here she is, fast asleep with William. If you can see her. She's so cute.
And she's an English pointer, I believe. English pointer, correct?
That's right.
She's lighter. She's lighter color than William.
It's funny, as I said, how you go along and think you know everything. Well, William's lighter, and they call them. I thought that was an orange and white, lemon and white, and I thought so. William's lighter, so he must be orange and white, lemon and white, and Jemima or Gemma must be orange and white because she's deep orange. But no, it's the other way around. William's orange and white, and Jemima's lemon and white.
Oh, interesting.
It all had to do with the noses. The black nose determines whether they're orange and white, and the light nose is lemon and white. It has nothing to do with the color of the skin.
Now, you do realize, as they get older, for all those people who are too young, you need to go back and look at old episodes of Star Trek with Frank Gorshin, the comedian, who is half white and half black. And he has a deadly nemesis. The other guy, I can't remember who the actor was, who is half white and half black, but the other side.
Other side, yes.
And it was just a show to show how stupid prejudice can be. and or racism for that matter. They were trying to kill each other at all times because one was black on one side, the other one was white on the same side. And so they went at it, trying to kill each other for time immemorial. They finally get booted out into space, and the last scene, they're choking each other in the middle of space because they're different. So you have to be careful with Gemma and William because they're the opposite.
Oh, well, that's right. But getting back with the camera, but I thought, get that out, because it is so good just to have it by the handle and get it into... I've got a few even good shots. It might not be a bit noisy, but last night I had the camera ready, and I've got it everywhere, and then all of a sudden, Gemma started growling. And what she did, she'd seen her reflection in a stereo camera, and she started checking, whoa, and chase it. Then she raced round the back to try and catch the puppy that was in there, and it was gone.
Funny.
And then she went back to sleep, and then she looked back at me. It's back again. Then she ran behind the cabinet, running around trying to think, it's in there. There's another puppy trapped inside that cabinet.
That is funny.
I'll have to put that up, but it's a bit noisy, but it came out good. I got it, and you can see her reflection in the glass, and you can see it back at her own reflections.
You know,
that's the good thing with cameras.
That happened with the very first dog we had. It was a female, and we put her at night in the bedroom with us, and all of a sudden, like at 1 a.m, we hear, and she's hitting the mirror, and we went, what? She saw herself. Yeah. And she was attacking the mirror. And we're like, oh, gosh. So we had to put, for about a month, we had a curtain over the mirror so we could sleep. And after that, she got used to it. But it was so funny because dogs do that. They're not sophisticated.
So did Gemma run into the cabinet, or did she just...
No, she just was back. But as I said, we say silly things about animals like that, but I've done a similar sort of thing as well. I was in my retail years when you had to go into the shop in the middle of the night, and I nearly had a heart attack. I went round the corner at 2 o'clock in the morning to check to make sure the shop was safe, and there's this huge bloke stood there and frightened the living daylights out of me. But what it was Pavarotti, a life-size cut out of Pavarotti with his hands up in the air doing that. And I'll tell you what, you've got no idea how frightening that is when you run around a corner and see a life-size cardboard cutout of Pavarotti. And he did it to me twice. He got me twice that one because he got me that time, and then in the shop there was a lift where we used to put stock going up and down there, put all the goods in there. And then I looked down there, and there was somebody squashed under the bottom of the lift. And it was months after when Pavarotti had been finished and had thrown him down the lift shaft. Oh, gosh. And he was just there underneath, and I thought somebody had fallen down. Anyway, as I said, we'd say dogs are silly. Well, it's just we do that as well. But it's good that cameras can be there to capture those things. Yes. And I had still trying with the iPhone because it's still not that easy. I think it's quite a lot quicker to get the Canon out, switch it on, and film than it is to get the iPhone and get it right to even take a picture.
Interesting.
So hopefully, I'll get at least that's started a new life for the Canon.
You know what you need to buy for? I think it works on Apple. Get Filmic Pro, Filmic Pro. That gives your camera a whole new feeling for videos. It's only for videos. I bought it for the... Let me see if I can show it.
I think I have it.
It's a pretty cool... I mean, it's got a lot of buttons on it, so you have to kind of memorize what some of them are. Let's see. Filmic. I think this is
Filmic. Oh, makes for a good show, us both checking our apps.
That's right. Here we go. Okay, so here is my Filmic Pro. Can you see that?
Yeah.
You see it's got different buttons on the bottom and different options. Yeah. It does a pretty good job.
So that's sort of
it's got white balance. It's got all sorts of stuff on it that makes it pretty cool.
I've seen that. I'm sure I might have that, but I'll have to try that out. But it's Yeah, because as I said, my main thing with one of the things I do like with the new iPhone, I can actually see it a bit better in the daylight with the new screen with the similar one to the LG, not the LG. What you've got the Samsung, the Note 9.
Well, they're made by Samsung.
Screen, but it's much easier to see in the daylight.
So
whereas
these
the
are your
previous one I
settings.
could not see.
So these are the settings options. I don't know if you can see those.
Okay,
So
I
they
can't.
give you-
Oh yes, I can see that. Yeah,
is that a little bit better?
yeah.
Turn it a little bit to your left. Oh, now it's just getting glare from the light, though.
How about if I go a little closer still?
I can see some sort of setting with little wrenches, camera pictures, a camera.
Yeah, let me see. I'm trying to get away from the light. Well, hold on. Let me do this. So I just knocked everything over. How about that?
No.
Now we can see it a bit more.
Yeah, I don't think it's your lights. I think it's just how
It's
bright
just
on
too
the
small,
screen on the
and
phone.
it's just too small.
But it looks. You could see the little icons with the focus icon
Yep.
and all the different tools that it's got so much more on it. But they're the sort of things that I'm starting to. Since I've had this phone, I've actually used it more as a camera than I have any other of the phones. And I don't know. I think it's because it's just that little bit smaller for me to carry around and have.
And it works. And it works pretty well. It's a good camera.
And I thought, and what did they say? What the best camera is the one you've got.
Yeah.
Really. And if people say, oh, it's not that. Hey, what else are you going to do? You've got nothing. So, and most people they won't notice the difference. It's only if you do video and it's a horrible sound or it's in pitch black and you can't see anything. Oh, that's rubbish. But most of the time, when you're just doing events and things, just that's happening now, people don't notice the difference on that. So I think what somebody should do a motion picture while doing just on Android and Apple phones or something like that. Just do a motion picture and have 50 different camera shots and then do it and then say, oh, yeah, we use these $500,000 camera equipment. Oh, that's great. And have it all produced and then say, no, we just used an Android phone for this. I wouldn't be surprised if you set it up and did all the sound and that people would not know the difference.
They probably wouldn't.
Well, let's face it, what do? They get the best quality, and then it's like they do with a nice thing. Then they sandpaper it down to make it look a bit rougher, don't they?
Yep.
So, you don't want it to that polished. So, yeah.
I have news. I have news. After having it for 3 weeks now, I finally got the Canon EOS R battery grip shipped today, so I'll get it on Monday.
Oh.
Finally, Canon really messed up this whole announcement because they came out with the camera and they came out with the lens that goes in the camera, but they didn't come out with the other lens adapters for the neutral density or for the polarizer, and they don't have the battery grips readily available. They're back ordered almost everywhere. And the other issue is, of the lenses they announced, the 4, I think only 2 are available and the other 2 are not yet. So
It's
really
almost
strange.
It's almost as if they didn't expect people to buy them right away or something. They thought people would hold off.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, maybe that's the case, Harold. You probably got it there. We'll release it, but we're not going to make anything until people say they want it. Because if they don't, we're not going to bother making. What do they say? Supply on demand or deliver just on time. Yes, I've ordered that. Yeah, it'll take 6 weeks from the time we get. We'll make it.
Yeah.
And do it that way.
So the camera's out, but not really.
Yeah. Well, I know. I got a one of these aftermarket battery grips for my GH5 that didn't quite fit. Everything worked on it, but it was just that slight different. Well, they're sending me another one, so that's good. That's one good thing about now we've got Amazon here. I never get with the American one when they just say they send you a message. Well, how did you go? How did we do with this battery grip you got? I said no good. It didn't fit. So then they contacted me, and I think the thing is these days you can't afford to have a bad response from Amazon because they can make a fortune through there. It's one of the easiest ways for them to make the money, but they were ever so good. So I'll give you my verdict when the next one comes and see. But as I said, it all works. I sent them a picture of it. I said it's just the pin that holds it into the body I think you've just got that one slightly out of alignment because it's just not going in, or it's just that fraction too fat on there to get in there. But other than that, everything worked fine. So, hey, I'm for $69 as opposed to $400 for the Panasonic one.
The one you're getting, is it the same grip, but like the same brand and everything? What are they sending you? Just like
another one, because they said they've been selling them and it's been fitting everybody else, so it must be a fault in that one.
So it must be defective or something. Okay.
Yeah, it must be defective because they've been selling them, and I thought they could not sell them like that and have them all not fit. And if they're on Amazon, they'd soon be blacklisted for that if they were selling something that didn't fit properly. Because they said it could attach, everything will work on it, but you can see it's just pushed up at one end because it's just not slotting in and making a
Let's hope you don't find that the camera is badly done. That one part was off. Then you go, no!
Yeah. Well, you don't know, do you?
You don't. I've had stuff like that happen to me, and it's just like, the camera's bad? Well, then, you get it exchanged, and it could happen. It just, manufacturing isn't always perfect. But hopefully it's just that the grip, and they made one little mistake. I'm sure these grip companies make grips for about 20 different cameras, the same exact grip, and they just move things, and it got into the wrong. Who knows? Well,
the thing that you had was with one of the GH5s, right? The Metabones didn't fit on one of the lens mounts for one of those GH5s, even though it worked on the other one, right? Is it that it didn't fit, or it just didn't work? For yours, Rick?
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah, because
I thought you were talking to Geoff.
Sorry, because you got two.
I don't know what you were saying.
You got two GH5s, and then one of them, the mount wasn't quite working for the Metabones adapters, right?
It still doesn't work.
Yeah,
it works on the Metabones adapter works on one of the GH5s, but not the other one. From the beginning, no matter what I've tried, it only works on one, and I'm thinking one of the contacts is probably just a millimeter off or less, and it's not working. So, and that's the one that one fell and ripped off the lens, but it didn't work before the lens either. So, just a small contact issue. It doesn't take much.
Well, the Metabones I got works okay, but I don't have two cameras to test it on another one. But mine worked okay from that. But I'll tell you, when you do get these other lenses and put them on your camera, you certainly notice how damn noisy they are compared to the native lens. Because I put one of my Canon lens on, whereas on a Canon it doesn't sound too bad. Well, you get used to it. But when you put it on the Panasonic, the focusing noise in it.
And by the way, if people, it's empty. If people are noticing I was drinking, I just knocked it over. It's dry in here. It's pretty dry in all of Camarillo, where we are in Southern California. We've had fires, we've had wind, and last night we were having 50 to 70 mile-an-hour gusts. That's pretty heavy, and that's what moved the fires all towards the beach, which actually saved us, because our office was not far from where one of the fires hit. And walked in this morning, it was smoke-filled. There was a lot of smoke in here. So I'm a little trying to get my throat back. Harold's doing okay. He's young. He can handle it.
Yeah, I'm always I'm always on the dry side anyway, so I guess I only notice it so much.
So Rick, what's on the in the future for you for equipment? Anything like just another lens for your new Canon, or what?
Maybe a lens at one point. But see, I already have a lot of the lenses I need for the Canon line. So I'm just using the Canon, Sigma, and Tamron lenses. They work fine. Amazingly enough, they weren't kidding. The adapter, the lens adapter, just like the M5 adapter, works as well as if it were natively mounted. It's amazing. It just works. I see no difference. Whether it's video or just stills, it works beautifully. They did a good job on that.
I think I said last week, I think I might invest in is just one of the 360 cameras, one of the cheap, because they're not that expensive, but something around about the $400 mark.
Yeah,
and have a play around with that, because it might be good to have a little play with that. But
that's one we got.
Apart from that,
that's one we got, right?
The Ricoh
The
you've got.
Ricoh,
I
the
think,
Ricoh, yeah. Theta V. I think that's still the same model. They may have a slight different new model, but it's the same camera basically. Though the only thing that I don't like about that camera is you get the stick. It's like the camera is basically a memory stick. It doesn't have more than like what 20 gigs of memory. That's it. It doesn't have a lot of memory, so they don't really expect you to shoot that much. You have to go and then download it, then go shoot some more.
What I want to do, I'm going to get the dog mount and put it on the dog.
They have one?
I've seen somebody do that. Yeah, they've got a dog mount.
That's funny.
And I actually pulled out of the cupboard my GoPro, which I'd forgotten I had, and charged it up, and it still works. But when I got it, it was a bit hard to operate. But now they've got a nice app on there, so I put it on my phone and figured out. Took 5 minutes to figure out how to operate the damn.
They have a new one. I think it's called the Hero. I think that's the new one.
No, mine was the Hero 3, but I think there's a newer one, but mine's the older one now. But it's still quite good. I thought, well, you can throw it in the water. It's got the waterproof mount, and I thought I should start using that, putting out at night, do a few time-lapse things when it's out in the rain, and things
now,
that you would never throw your camera out.
Can't you follow your dog with the Osmo, for example, upside down?
I can, yes. While I'm holding it, yes, I can do that. Yeah. So, but I thought that if you can put this other one though on the dog,
yeah, that's cool.
If you can, and then you get the 360 degrees, then you can see yourself. Hey, come back here! You're chasing him.
Now you need two. You need one for William and one for her.
Oh, that's right. And yes, do
that would be interesting
between them. Yeah, that's right.
And then you say,
but that's the whole point.
Oh my God, what are they doing? No, don't do that. Anyway.
Yes, well,
Harold, what's your experience? Share your experience on the Ricoh camera with Geoff.
Oh, well, I guess when we were filming some with our Ricoh Theta V, then what we were doing was, we just took some video sort of around the office, and first what we started doing was we had it on a wheeled tripod mount, and we were wheeling it around. But doing that with a VR, it's a little, I guess it's all right, but it's a little easy to get disoriented if you're watching that and it's moving around. So what we ended up doing was just having different sort of setting up the tripod at different points and just filming some video. And then, because what we were filming it for is for tests with different 360 VR e-learning software tools. So we're just kind of having these different clips where you can click to move around kind of thing, and then it just goes to another video clip, and they're just sort of looped. And,
now it sounds a bit silly a question, but from me, but when you do that, can you just take because Captivate has that 360 degree thing, you can put an image in there. Can you just is that just taking a picture and then you can do the 360 in it? Is that possible?
Yeah, you can definitely just take a picture. And yeah, the Ricoh cameras, they do just let you take pictures as well if you want to. So obviously if stuff's not moving around so much, like if you don't really want to have people moving around or walking around, that kind of thing, then you can just take a picture and use that.
Yeah, because that's what Captivate has, so you can just go and have a scene and just move around that one scene.
One thing that I don't know if any of the authoring tools for VR have done it yet, but one thing that I would like to see is the ability to sort of overlay parts of 360 video clips so that sometimes you don't want the whole thing moving, but maybe you want to film a certain thing happening and then sort of overlay that over part of the 360. I think that would be neat, because then that would allow you to create a little more interactivity that would actually make changes in the 360 sort of environment. But
what I'm liking with I've seen in the video editors, like in the Final Cut Pro, and I'm sure it is in Premiere Pro, where you can take your 360 video into there, and then you can make it what you want. You don't so the audience doesn't have the 360 view of it. You just direct them to where they want it to go. So I thought that's another good use for it, because the 360 view with where everybody can look everywhere, hey, that'll die out in 6 months' time. It's novel, yeah, if you want to look all the way around, but just to direct people. And I went to an e-learning conference the other week and saw the full 360 goggles, virtual reality, and having some of this. I'll never want to look at that again. I felt so nauseous, and I thought, I can't take this. I don't mind looking at it on a flat screen, but this virtual, where I'm in the middle, it was just...
Well, that's interesting. It's interesting you bring that up, because a lot of people don't want to talk about that, because there's a lot of people who get vertigo from that. They feel upset. They get kind of sick. It messes somehow with our inner ear, and it makes us uncomfortable. But they don't like talking about that, because then it won't be so popular if that word gets out. But a lot of people feel that way, and they get massive headaches from the glasses. That's another one.
And but the thing is, like you said, but if people get like that, like you can understand if people get vertigo, if they're like that. But I'm one of these people that goes to Magic Mountain and gets thrown around on all the roller coasters. Doesn't affect me one little bit. I love all that being thrown. I can be twirled around. That doesn't affect me. But these goggles, when I took it for 3 minutes, and I said, I can't take this anymore. It's just so disorientating.
Interesting.
So,
well, you notice that 3D TV is no longer popular.
Well, that's right. But even then, when the way they did 3D in the NTV, it wasn't quite. Not like the early days, which was because of the glasses and that, but they always try to poke you in the face and poke you in the eye with something. Right. And all that sort of, but then they went away from that and just didn't do things like that, and that made it better. But the thing is, though, now with these high definition TV, with these ultra HD TVs, you look at the quality on some of them and you would swear blind it was 3D.
Yeah.
So it stands out so much, the quality, and that's what you want. And I think that's probably what killed it more than anything, that the quality is there. We don't need to see that extra depth.
Right.
And,
but it's really good.
Speaking of the VR goggles, I'm kind of thinking that part of what makes people sick, get motion sick when they wouldn't normally get motion sick just from moving around, is there's probably small discrepancies in sort of the frame rate of the VR goggles. And, when you're moving around, there's probably something in your brain that's registering, hey, it's not moving at quite the same rate that it should be if you were actually moving around your head. Like there might, even if it seems like it has a good frame rate, there might be a little bit where it's kind of not quite overlapping with where your brain should be registering a change.
It's just the only way I could make it describe it to me. The way it made me feel, I didn't know which way was left, right, and up and down. That's the way you feel. You just feel, where am I? You know where you're looking and that, but you just have that. Your brain has that floating feeling that am I up? Am I the right way up? A bit like when you're doing Microsoft Flight Simulator. You're nicely flying your plane, and then you realize you're upside down. You don't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because that's exactly what happens to pilots when they fly at night. They have to land on aircraft carriers. They have to look at instrumentation, because if they look outside, they don't know if they're up, down, sideways. It's totally their spatial, I guess, spatial dissonance. They don't know where they are. A cognitive dissonance of their spatial environment. So they look at the controls, which are basically 2D, and tell them exactly where they are. It's interesting. So it's probably a similar kind of idea.
Because they'd be the same sort of, because they're strapped in that much. They've got nothing moving. There's no gravity that's affecting them, because they're that strapped in, they wouldn't know whether they were up or down. And that's the sort of feeling I get in those goggles, whereas somebody's next to you, but where are they? In real life, and you just lose all sense of everything. And that's what I think. I think it's one of those things. It will be a fad, and I think it will go away. To be quite honest, I don't think it will last too long. We'll have something new.
If you're watching in the audience and you've done the goggles and you've done the VR or the 3D, what's your experience been? How do you feel with that? I'd be curious to find out. Put a note in the comments below and tell us, were you dizzy? Did you feel any kind of spatial oddity? Or was it fine? Leave a note. Let us know. Well, anyway, we are out of time. We're already about
Oh,
5 minutes
gone
later
over.
than we started late, but we're now a little late.
Over.
A little over. But anyway, well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. We'd love to have you here. There's always something new that you can learn on these shows. Anyway, Geoff, we'll see you next week. And
is it Thanksgiving next week or not?
no,
When's
the week after.
Thanksgiving?
The week after.
Week after. Okay.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And Harold, we'll see you Monday.
I
Have
shall
a good
see
one,
you
everyone.
all
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
next time.
Bye for now.